Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the Everton Daily Live. It's Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
And I've had a couple of moments this morning.
Oh, you're saying I've had a couple of something else then?
No, a couple of moments of Friday the 13th.
Have you?
Shower wouldn't switch off. So I need a new shower, it looks like. My smoke alarm is beeping. I've replaced the battery.
Well, singular. Have you got
Still
multiple smoke
beeping.
alarms?
I've got it to the mains on each thing, but one of them. So I've changed the battery, because obviously they have to have a battery as well. Because obviously if your mains, you lost power, you'd still have to have the thing.
Yeah.
I've changed the battery, it's still beeping, which is, it chirps, which is it's annoying after a bit. It's like
mine are the same.
water dropping and you're just like, oh my God. And I've been online and it's, oh yeah, just press that. It'll have residual thing. I've pressed it. No, it's just still going. So I've asked my brother-in-law, he's a fireman.
One of those little square battery things.
They get robbed. Yeah, so they get knackered. Mains, smoke alarms get knackered by the mains. So I'm like,
Did you?
yeah.
I've had in the last month or two, I've had to do 2 or 3 in some of my houses.
Fuming. So there you go. But hey ho. How are you?
Fantastic.
Good. Have you been a lively week for Everton, despite not playing a game of footy with Mr. Texter on Wednesday?
He's mischievous, but it's very entertaining.
Yeah.
I think I did a tweet about something. It might have been a tweet or an X. What do you call them? An X.
Whatever you want.
It doesn't really matter.
It's a tweet, isn't it? But it's just called X. But
he's done something that in the Managerial years. No, it's in the tag article, I think.
Oh, okay.
So read it, people, please, and let me know what you think. And I said something like he was engaging and appeared decisive. 2 things we've not really enjoyed in the Managerial years, which is true.
That is
because
true.
the engagement people have been suppressed by the fly-by-night, up and down behaviour of the owner, and the ability of the leadership in between to just do what he says, right? And of course, for the last couple of years, decisiveness has been a dirty word because of all of the above.
Everything else that's
But
gone.
yeah, he's a mischievous little so-and-so, yeah.
He's put the cat amongst the pigeons.
He is endearing in that sense, but without spoiling your inside the game, your punchline in that.
Business with play, not inside the game.
What did I say? Yeah,
That's
rubbish.
Right.
Inside the game's good too.
It is, yeah.
But no, the BWB thing we've just done, the way you summarised it is spot on, about it. And let's see what tomorrow brings. I mean, the joy, apart from the footballing side of what tomorrow brings, which of course I will be going, is he's put a timetable down, hasn't he? So he'll learn about Everton fans when in 2 weeks' time... Everyone's saying, well, have you sold those polished shares
where
yet?
is it then? Yeah.
Imagine if he does sell them in the next couple of weeks.
He seemed pretty
And everyone will
go,
told you, it's happening, sort of thing.
He did. I mean, because we've been here before, haven't we?
Of course,
someone, although I do question the Kaminsky thing, but that was brought back up, the 2 years ago, remember the Kaminskys were hopeful or confident of completing the deal for Everton by the time we got to Minnesota.
Yeah.
And all that.
Is that where this is the fourth in line comes? Because when I read fourth, I'm going, who was the other one?
Yeah.
But yeah, people in caps, mate. I mean, the first couple were a problem with people in caps, weren't they?
Exactly, yeah. I haven't seen John Texter in a cap, but I wouldn't say he doesn't wear a cap, because I haven't seen it.
How funny would it be if a guy with the surname of Friedkin was one of his friends?
Yeah, of course.
Who's well-resourced.
Well-resourced friend.
I love it. Well-resourced,
do you think,
rich, yeah.
What do you think of... Because obviously, if he is moving towards that, isn't he? And it seems like he's moving towards it. The purchase of Everton, he said more than 90%. He
said he'd like to think it was more than 90%. But yeah,
but
we talk about that on BWB as well.
The Freaking group are still there because they've still got money in the football club. I mean... I wonder if... I think they backed away a little bit because the money to run 2 football clubs might be what they were prepared to commit right now. But I wonder if they'll make another play for it.
Don't know.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Well...
Because they might just think, well, if we get our money back, nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Yeah, I mean, my assumption would be, if only because of the MO that we thought was before, that Farhad Moshiri is clearly expected to walk away from his 400 plus million that the club owes him. And in return for that 400 plus million that the club owe him, he expects the new owner to get rid of 400 somewhere else, which is clearly Freaking Group, TFG, and 777 ACAP, leaving RMF hanging around as a persistent lender, albeit maybe punitively from an interest point of view. And in that simple sense, we end up in a situation where a huge majority of the perceived debt has gone. Right? And in that moment, this football club looks financially healthy, and it's going into a new stadium, which let's as long as the football club has a real current comfort in its control of costs, it's going to see 20, 30, 40, 50 plus whatever it is, millions of pounds of more income in the financial year that starts next July.
Just for moving stadiums.
Just because we're in the new stadium.
He did say, did he not, Everton's money's like, he said defined the day-to-day, and anything that can contradict that's nonsense.
Yeah,
didn't he?
And then he said something that contradicted it, which was interesting. But and that's the thing.
What contradicted
the candour of the man is, and we saw in the amusement of getting flustered over doing mental arithmetic.
Yeah, he can't subtract.
Yeah.
You know,
but he got there in the end, and he just laughed about it. Oh, we'll sort it out later. Because again, you can analyse this stuff to death if you want to. So you can, if you look at it closely, he said things. And me and you have lots of chats, don't we, where we talk about, we talk about, you can read into things, and we all do it, that aren't said directly. But you can also try and interpret what was said directly. So he did say a couple of things that resonate with me. One is when he did his 90% probability thing, or more than 90% probability that he gets what he wants, which is the club.
Yeah.
He said, but I'm not the owner, and he's got options, which means there's others.
Yeah.
So that's something we can read into it. He also talked about, simplistically, they're fine, money-wise, day-to-day. He then also talked about, and again, not the words he used, but what you can read into it, when I'm the owner, I look forward to, providing the last tranche of funding to finish the stadium. When we've been told by the football club that the Freaking Group of money's provided for that.
Colin did say it was,
yeah.
It was
so you're getting it a little bit of that sort of stuff. So yeah, I mean, there's some positives in there, and there's some little curvy balls. He talks about exclusivity. So in my words, it's a small e, exclusivity, because a big E would have had a statement from the club, right? But
they do issue statements.
Of course, yeah. And in talking about exclusivity, each time he mentioned the word, he talked about a contract. So rightly or wrongly, my take was he has a contract being drafted, which I think is based on an agreement him and Farhad Moshiri have made, which he's choosing to almost reference as exclusivity, right? In the sense that he isn't drafting that with anyone else. The other indirect thing that we can see, which then confirms that the football club doesn't have financial challenges per se, in cash flow terms, at the moment, is that when we've done the stuff with TFG and when we've done the stuff with 777, it was fundamentally, they bought exclusivity by handing over money.
Yeah.
He hasn't handed any over.
No.
That's probably because we don't need it.
That is true, yeah.
And therefore,
thank God you're here, John.
Therefore, maybe our need is beyond the time when we think he'll take over, which again you can read into Moshiri and whoever else gets close enough for this to be able to validate it. Maybe, and we know we've got some journalists saying it for now. If it's John Textor and his mates, they already seem to have got further down the line than either TFG or 777 ACAP did. So again, could be a false dawn. But each time we get closer, and as we've talked about many times, each day, every day, we get closer and closer to our stadium being completed. The Dan Meese thing, Colin literally, no, I shouldn't say that. It's very easy to interpret what he said as being, we get the keys in a couple of weeks. Not literally a couple of weeks, but very soon it's finished. And then, of course, he reminded himself, he being Colin, that we're not actually going to use the things till next August. So there's lots to do between now and then.
Yeah.
But the things he referenced were actually the reasons for why we're not moving in sooner, weren't they? Like training of staff and doing all this, that and the other. So it's still there, Baz. Promised land. It's still within arm's reach.
Yeah.
Guess what? I'm going to take measure, but I think we're a little bit closer than we were.
Yeah,
And every day we will get closer.
we definitely are close.
Regardless of what happens with Texter, every day we will get closer. And I'm fascinated on who his two well-resourced friends are.
Well, yeah, I mean,
If you said your friend was well-resourced, would that mean they're like got as many resources as you have, less or more?
I don't know. Probably as much. I don't know. You can take that two ways, can't you? You can say they're actually more. They've got more money than I have. They're very well resourced, or they're well resourced like I am. But I took it to be they've got more than he has.
Yes, well that's how I took it, and he's got a few bob.
And he's got a few bob, and
So
it's separate to his other stuff.
Yeah,
which
so
is
there's
what he
three
said,
guys
so.
out there who are all going to be shareholders in Everton Football Group, and he's the guy with the least money. That'd be quite cool, wouldn't it? Notice he also said if you take comfort from the probability of 90% and you think that's good,
Yeah.
he also said the intent, again I can't remember the exact words, so I'll use mine. The intention is, he said, that I will be the largest shareholder in the football group, but he didn't say he would be. He said the intention is, we're contemplating, was that what he said? We're contemplating that I'll be the largest shareholder. So I suspect, majority shareholder. If he is a majority shareholder, it will be the smallest minimum number, that 50.1 or something, which means the other two would be substantial shareholders in their own right, 20% type shareholders. So very exciting times. Very exciting times.
It's got to happen though, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Before, I mean, we're discussing it, but it is a case of.
Just imagine how much my shares in Everton are going to go up.
Tremendous.
Not for sale, lad. Not for sale.
Yeah, exactly. So it's paper money, isn't it? It's not real.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to sell them, so it's irrelevant
Yeah.
almost.
Interesting anyway.
No, it is interesting, isn't it? Because we have been down this road before, and it's not really. We've not gone anywhere, have we? Seemingly. But let's hope. Because he's got some plans, and he talks about getting in early enough so we can affect the January transfer
Yeah,
window.
if you want to get the fans on side, just say something like that. Which
Well,
he did, yeah.
but he's right though, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's right. You've got to be in place. You've got to be thinking along those lines. You can't be thinking, we'll see what happens when we get in, and we're not thinking about players. Players are, like he said, players put you up towards the top.
Again, he didn't say it, but again, the joy of communication is we all heard the same words, but heard different things.
Yeah.
And what I heard was, with reference to that, was, again, I'll paraphrase my own words, I don't care where the football club is in January, but I'd look forward to buying players to move us up.
Yeah.
So he's not saying, I'll buy players to stop relegation.
No.
He's literally saying, indirectly, every window is an opportunity to make your team better. And I look forward to the first opportunity when I've got my feet under the desk. Be cool, wouldn't it?
Well, it's going to be
interesting,
but let's see where we are. But there is a game of football tomorrow.
Yeah, we're going to win, aren't we?
Which is more important. I can't agree with you, John. I hope you're right. And can we win? Of course we can win.
Have we got any chance at all, Baz?
Well, we've always got a chance because 11 v 11.
Okay, so you never say never then.
Isn't it? Not for a football match.
Cool.
So I can tell you it's highly unlikely.
I tend to agree with
you.
But
that doesn't mean we can't.
I think we need a proper performance, because the last time we had this conversation, which would have, again, paraphrasing, using the unacceptable words Farhad Moshiri once used of an expected loss. Tottenham was an expected loss.
Yeah.
And we didn't turn up.
No.
So this is an expected loss, but you never know. Let's see.
But the thing is, look, I've said it at the time, and I'll repeat it. Spurs, we were beaten at 3-0-1 that day. You could tell the body language of the players. Now, I don't know what messaging they got from the coaching staff, but I can't believe
Don't get injured, lads.
I can't believe in my heart of hearts that any of those major three coaches said to them, "You've got no chance of winning here." I don't believe that for one second.
No, I don't.
So what was the acceptable level of defeat that day? Do you know what I mean? I just refuse to accept any manager, and therefore I don't believe Sean Dykes did this. Sort of went, you can't really win here today, lads, so don't get battered. I don't believe for 1 second that was anything.
Me neither.
So why did we look beaten at 3-0-1? Why is there no belief in the
Lack
side?
of preparation.
Is it lack of prep?
Has to be.
Is it the team? Then if that's the team, then there's something fundamentally wrong in it, isn't it?
It has to be, and it's a big catch-all. Lack of preparation, or the preparation that we did wasn't good enough, whatever phrase you like. It's got to be that, Baz. It has to be, because anything you could come up with must fall underneath. The manager and his team might have smelt it and did something about it. And that's why his phrasing around the Bournemouth thing, I smelt something wasn't quite right. Well, change it then. You know, I honest to God, if you just get that feeling something's not quite right, but you don't know what it is, but you've got that feeling, there's only two choices: do something or don't.
Yeah.
Right? Now, sometimes, if in doubt, don't. So you don't do it then. You wait a bit longer. And if that smell doesn't go away, you think, I'm going to have to change something. So you change something, the smell goes away and go, that's what it was. Or the smell's still there. It's not as much as it was. I better change something else again then. But I'd be fascinated to have, you know, if the refs are mic'd up.
Oh, yeah.
Mic up all the blokes or women, whatever, who are allowed to go in the technical area. You know, and then sell it. You make a fortune. Sean stood there with his two henchmen, as he does, and I've talked about this before. You see it more often because of we're in the ground, aren't we, at Goodison, and they never show it on the telly really. How often him and his guys are in the tech box talking, thinking about what to do, all that sort of stuff. And then of course the manager has the final say. And I've seen away games where it's crystal clear that his two assistants may be nearer to what you and I might want him to do than he is. But they go and sit down and he has the final say. You know, it's not a committee, is it? It's advisors and a decision maker. But we heard yesterday the manager doesn't believe there's anything wrong with his approach to substitutions, so we shouldn't expect to see anything different. So we're not going to get a huge uplift in in-game management. So that is what it is.
What do you think he'll do at right back? Because obviously he was a bit
If
non-committal.
Seamus is fit, he'll play.
Yeah.
Seamus.
Well, that's why he's sure to shed.
And if he's not fit,
It's touch and go with Seamus.
he'll put Ashley Young in.
Young will come in.
Apparently, but Ashley wasn't good enough to come on against Bournemouth. So apparently he'll be good enough to start tomorrow. He'll get booked in the first 15 minutes. So.
Now who's being negative?
No, I'm just offering an opinion based on experience.
Yeah. It's a tough game.
But I mean, the fans will rock up.
Of course.
Too many of us, for common sense, will expect a result, right? And you never know. I've been there 1,000 times, and we've rocked up. We went to Brighton once, mate, and expected to lose, and we battered them, right? You never know. That's why you keep going to the well, isn't it?
It was that key word you used then, once.
Yeah. I could give you other examples.
I was saying yesterday.
The Villa's a cemetery for us, so.
Yeah, I was saying yesterday to Jack, you know, Fulham at home last season and what Wolves at home last season. Why can't we be that team? Both of them turned up at Goodison, both got destroyed, and both nicked a goal on the break and won 1-0. Like, you know, I don't mind us getting battered 31 shots to 2 tomorrow and winning 1-0. Be all day with it.
That's right.
Do you know what I mean? 80% possession with Villa, great. Even better. Get everyone pissed off that we won a game that we should never have won.
Went in the League Cup expecting to lose, didn't we?
Exactly, and we played really well that night. So
these players have it in them.
They can do it.
And let's be honest. These players under this manager have it in them. It's just whether he can extract it or they can extract it.
All things being equal, if everyone plays to the best ability, Villa will win because they're a better team than us.
Yeah.
But that's not football, you know. Not always, anyway. So Everton absolutely can upset the apple cart.
And they've got a protest going on as well.
Yeah, but I still think the team will be very well prepared and all that.
Good manager.
It'd been good if it was 12:30 tomorrow, because that might have knocked them off a little bit of kilter, and the protest and all of that stuff means it's a bit, and Everton catch them out. 5:30's a bit of a, everyone else has played.
Yeah, we know what we need to do.
Oh my God. And if one of the promoted sides have won, the pressure's even worse, isn't it, and all that. But all we can do is go out and play our game, and, well, it's 11v11, you've always got an opportunity, and I've no doubt Amadou Onana will have a great game, no doubt whatsoever. You have more comments while away with Belgium about the best decision he's ever made and all this, which is fine. I have no problem with that. He's got to talk his...
Water back duck, yeah.
Well, that's it, isn't it? But he's right. I said this the other day. He's absolutely right that it will be the best decision he's ever made, because he's moved from a manager that doesn't want him to play the type of football he plays to a manager that absolutely wants him to play that way. So if you're looking at it from a personal perspective, he's made a good move for himself. He's gone to a much better team.
That's not the most critical
there you go.
benefit to him, though, is it?
No, but I'm just saying that
most
for him.
critical benefit is at the end of the season he'll have Champions League on his CV.
Of course, yeah.
And if he performs against so-called bigger teams, even bigger than the mighty Villa, right, then, he'll be moved on again in reasonably short order, I would think, as in a couple of years.
That's up to him, isn't it?
And that's what it's all about, isn't it? And they'll make a load of money, and we'll get some of it.
And off you go, don't you?
By which time we'll be ready to sell Tim anyway. So.
Well, I was just going to come on to him and saying
that was a segue for you, Baz.
I've no doubt Onana will have a good game, but actually also don't have any doubt Irabuna will have a good game.
Same reasons,
I think
almost.
Tim, I think he wants his comments this week. He felt he didn't get a proper go at Villa. He's come into our team. I think he's been fortunate to start the season, because I think if James Garner would have been fit, he wouldn't have. But he's grabbed it with both hands. Been Everton's best player all through pre-season and so far this season in most games. I think Spurs away was his worst performance, but they're a really good side, and he just dipped a little bit, and he's a young player coming in. But I think overall, although he did tire against Bournemouth and absolutely should have been taken off, I think he's been Everton's best player. I think he's made a great start to his Everton.
So he'll start tomorrow, won't he?
He's got it. He's absolutely got it.
So how many Premier League managers... Sorry, this just come to me, mate. Sorry for cutting you off.
No.
How many Premier League managers do you think would look at what's available to them tomorrow to answer the very first question you went with and go, you know what? I'll stick James Garner in at right back.
Well, me and Jack spoke about this.
Oh, did you?
And we said, stuff. And we said, if James isn't fit, he will play at right back.
Oh, you've decided, you and Jack?
Well, sorry. He would play at right back.
Yeah.
Ashley Young's a curious one for me, because the manager puts him in, starts him. The Brighton thing, yeah, okay. The fella made a stupid error and got sent off. But he wasn't deemed the right sub last time he played, even though Seamus was knackered on a hot day. And we're trying to he wasn't deemed the right sub to come on, even though, for all of the reasons, that was the moment to put him on.
If you value Premier League experience, you would have thought that would be a no-brainer.
Being there, done it, and you'd seen a lot in your right back who's 36 this month and has give everything that day and is knackered with 10 minutes left, and they've put two left wingers on to run at him. You would have thought Ashley Young would have been the one to come on and go, lads, settle it down. Because that's where his experience should be vital. 10, 15 minutes to go.
He'd be a proper snide, wouldn't he, as well, in those 10 minutes?
You see, that's what he should...
Runs the clock down and all that sort of stuff.
But then, if he's not, like you just said there, he wasn't deemed good enough or fit enough or the right decision. Let's call it the right decision. The other two things are subjective, aren't they? The right decision was not to bring him on in the Bournemouth game when we probably needed that, even if he come on for Jack Harrison and sat in front of Seamus.
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking.
But I personally would have took Seamus. I love Seamus, but I took him off near the end.
We did have a young right back on the bench.
He's never putting him on, even though that might have been an interesting one. Even if he'd have gone with the two of them then and gone to Young and Roman Dixon, go and sort our right-hand side for the last 10 minutes, lads. Ashley sit behind him, knock it, Roman run after it.
But it's the same story about, 1 week you can't play in a friendly, the next week you can start in the Premier League.
Yeah, and that's what I was getting at.
Roman,
it's a bit mad.
Bit hit and miss.
James Garner was good enough for 63 minutes against Doncaster, but wasn't deemed fit enough for 15 minutes when you'd 2-0 up. There's them contradictions with the manager I find a little bit, but that's by the by. Garner could easily play at right back tomorrow because he's played there for the 21s, England under 21s, won the Euros. I probably would over Ashley Young, to be honest. I don't think Leon Bailey's fit, which is good. They do still have lots of talent. Philogene not fit either, I don't think. So they have got a couple of wingers out. Still have loads of talent. But I think for fitness-wise and for his passing ability, James Garner absolutely could go in there at right back and do a really
Harrison
good job.
In front of him.
Have Harrison in front of him. We'll work his socks off for him, you know that. Yeah, why not? Why not? He could always play James Garner on the right if he wants a more sort of compact line-up rather than Jack. But I think Harrison had a good game against, well, he did. against Bournemouth. The facts show you that, how many chances he created and everything. That day he had a good game against Bournemouth.
And the manager, one assumes, will just disregard the stat that says we concede more goals when Michael Keane's playing.
Michael Keane will start.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And that's the way it is. James...
Because his focus when challenge has been, again, not the words he says, but how you interpret what he says, which is, Michael Keane's playing fine, it's not his fault. Yeah, but it's about the unit. And I don't know how much he thinks about units. Do you think he thinks too much about individual players rather than...
I don't know, because... See,
why the hell isn't Branthwaite ready?
If you individually...
Sorry, just random there.
If you individually look at Michael Keane's performances...
They're fine.
They've not been terrible.
No.
Of course they haven't. He hasn't...
No, he's out to finish.
He hasn't underhit a back pass and someone scored. Okay, there's a couple of moments that he probably should have done better, particularly last week he didn't have a clue. Someone was behind him
Got
for
lost,
the winning
yeah.
goal.
Yeah.
Neither did Michalenko. He let someone run against Brighton, didn't he? Was it Matoma? He let run for the goal. But individual, he hasn't sort of made terrible errors that have led to goals. So the manager look and go, well, now I don't know whether...
He has shown the things that he often shown in the past, particularly at the away games. Like rash challenges he doesn't complete, on the halfway line type of thing.
Throw in front.
Yeah, which against teams, which is the majority of the Premier League, who've got pace and getting behind, we could have been punished a lot more, particularly at Tottenham, for example.
Well,
but it is what it is.
But he obviously doesn't think Jake O'Brien's up to it yet.
No.
So Michael Keane will play. There's a question there over... I love Tarkowski. I think he started the season really poor. He's not fit. You can tell he's not fit. Or he doesn't look like he's got that fitness that he's had for 2 seasons.
What
he's
he
playing
doing that makes you think he's not fit? Or what's he not
just
doing?
Doesn't look as sharp as what he has for 2 years. And that is not like his legs have gone. That's nonsense. I just think we know he was injured in pre-season. We know he had a little bit of a back issue. And he also had, was it a hamstring or a hip or something? Probably all connected. Well, it will be all connected. So I just don't think Tarky's been quite as sharp as what he normally is. He's normally more dominant than what he's been. Just looks a little bit off it to me. But I also think he's the type of character who'll say, I'll play.
Yeah.
We know the manager rated him very doubtful at Tottenham, and yet he led the team out at Tottenham. So if you're very doubtful and all of a sudden you're starting a game and you've got a centre-back there who's
ready and ready to go,
who's wants to play, then you don't take any chances, especially when we've got a home game against a team we should beat, or we'd be looking to beat the week later, but you risk the centre-back being out. You know what I mean? There's just a couple of things that don't seem quite right now.
Well, that presumably was a product of other decisions, like I have to play Dixon, therefore I can't can't play O'Brien. And
because, exactly. And you could look at that and go, fair play.
Yeah.
I understand that as a manager. You don't want to put a right back in who's not played and a centre back in who's not played. And you're at Tottenham and all of that. I get it. I'm not saying I'm just saying Tarky's not been quite at that. But I think had Jake O'Brien maybe been shown up better, maybe, and say, I don't know what the reason is. Maybe the manager who sees them every day just thinks O'Brien's not ready yet, and therefore 85-90% fit James Tarkowski's still a better option right now than what 100% Jake O'Brien is.
Or the alternative version, which is probably where I'm going, is an 85% Tarkowski alongside O'Brien is better than an 85% Tarkowski next door to Keane.
But he likes Michael Keane.
I get it, but we've watched this in previous seasons and it just distills down to the team concedes more goals when Keane is in the team than when it isn't. Now that soundbite, and you're nodding, because it's a stat, isn't it?
It's a stat.
It doesn't say, although it means it, if you go by last season, when it's Tark and Branthwaite, they concede less goals than if it's Keane and A and all that.
That's just a fact.
That is a fact, right? But I think there's as much in it as the presence of Michael Keane, either the way he positions, the way that maybe he's quiet on the field, whatever it is, puts added pressure on his centre-back partner. And I've watched, particularly, because I sit behind the goal, the amount of interaction that goes on and almost like nervous energy Tarkowski has to use with Michael next to him, which he might not with almost anyone else. And, it's all, if buts. But the reality is, when you look at the points lost or the goals conceded, you think there must be something we can't put our finger on. Maybe you just have to smell it, Baz. Maybe that's what it is. You just have to smell it. And O'Brien, what did we buy him for? We're not going to use him.
Bought him for the season, haven't they?
Of course.
They bought him as Branthwaite's replacement.
Of course.
And therefore...
So tell us that. I don't mean directly, but say, this is one for the future.
Well, he has said that. To be fair, the manager has said that. He has said he's a work in progress.
And that's where go and spin him around the block again. The John Textor stuff. I'd be interested if the audience or viewers, whatever, you can take what Textor said one of two ways, can't you? Which is, I can see this manager getting players who are his style, which is big and physical. But can he get a tune out of not big, not physical, but very technical, very skillful, blah, blah, blah. In other words, I couldn't convince me. I couldn't decide whether he was saying O'Brien was a good purchase or it was a Sean Dyche type purchase. But in both cases, he's a purchase where we're not using him, aren't we? Because subtle, the same but different to Branthwaite, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, Jared, that's a weight, of course. And Michael Keane was Aston Villa, really, wasn't he?
Yeah.
We got done, pumped the filler, and the manager took him out and put Branthwaite in. And we lost the game that Branthwaite started, which was Wolves at home, but we lost it to a last-minute header, which the goalkeeper should have come and dealt with really and didn't. Should have put the game to bed a long time before Wolves scored that day, but Branthwaite never was in, and that was it. And even the game he missed at Burnley, when Michael Keane came in and scored, Branthwaite was still back in the next game because he's obviously better than when he's in the side.
And the manager, as we recall, when it really mattered, he took Keane back out and put Cody in. So he knows, doesn't he?
It'll be levels, John. He'll look and go. He'll look and go. When he looked around the dressing room when his first sort of half season he was here, he decided in the big moment that Yerry Mina and Conor Cody were the ones rather than Michael Keane. The next season, which again, that was the head scratcher, he then went back to Michael Keane in the summer. Then we struggled and he decided Jared Branthwaite was coming in. Even when Branthwaite was suspended and Ben Godfrey come in, Branthwaite was back in. This year he's had the option, obviously he hadn't had Branthwaite, he's not there, but he has had the option of Jake O'Brien and Mason Holgate because he was here when the season kicked off and he went with Michael Keane. So that to me suggests it was sort of Tarkovsky and no one. No one's above him, fine, wouldn't disagree with him on that. The hierarchy was Yerry Mina and Conor Cody, and then it was Michael Keane. Well, them two went out the door, so Keane jumped. Branthwaite come here because he'd been in PSV. Then Branthwaite jumped above Michael. And then we got to this summer, and you've got Tarkovsky still. Branthwaite's injured, so he's over there, and you've got Michael Keane and Jake O'Brien, and that's how he sees it. I've got no issue with him doing that. Would that be mine? Probably not. But I've got no issue with him going, this is my hierarchy, because he sees them every day. It's his decision to make.
And he has to stand by it.
He lives and dies by it. Well,
absolutely.
So far, the defence has let 10 goals in 3 games.
And therefore, that suggests you have to make a change.
But at -8 already, and the season's 3 weeks old. And a team normally that starts like that struggles whole season. And now we're going to Villa, who could quite easily put 4 past us, and we'd be -12. Then you'd start looking and going,
the manager's got
they're
real
in
issues.
massive trouble.
If we get battered, we're spinning all the way back around the block now, aren't we? About
results.
If this is an expected defeat, then you don't. You're right. You don't say to the players, "Hey, we're going to lose this one, lads." Right? No. But you do say those things that say, "Well, we need a performance. We need to be tight. We need to do this. We need to do that. We need to do the other. We need our fans to know that we've turned up because at Tottenham we bloody didn't.
Absolutely,
they're going to be there in their numbers again because they always are. Let's get out there and show them that Bournemouth." The atypical bit in our performance at Bournemouth was the bit that cost us the game, last 10 minutes or whatever. But let's get to the level that we were in, perhaps 45 minutes to 70 or whatever. And playing like that, we can give anyone a game.
Absolutely.
And if we get something out of this game, our fans are going to love us to death, right? And if the only thing we get out of the game is a good performance, they'll love us to death. They will.
We'll like them more than we do today. Put it that way.
well, yeah.
Love us today. I think you're going down the road of hero to zero.
Sorry.
You're going down the road of hero to zero or zero to hero to quote him.
Well, that's because he misspoke, isn't it? Because he.
No, we said it again yesterday.
I know, but
he reiterated. He doubled down on it.
Every time he says it, he misspeaks, and every time he says things like that, he is publicly chastising the media people who either are not telling him don't say it, or they're telling him he's not listening. But then this was a moment when he just presumably got what he wanted and got some form of statement to be issued before it started. So,
but
whatever.
back to the game, we can get a result, but we're gonna have to, like you've just said there. I think we're gonna have to perform to our best level.
We need to build on the positive bits from Bournemouth, not drown in the last 10 minutes of the Bournemouth game as being what we are.
Doesn't Jai start for you?
He has to.
Yeah.
He has to. The manager is hanging himself onto, we have to get at least a point if he doesn't start and die. Because the audience...
And there's no suggestion he won't
No,
start.
no, but the audience, me, I'll go, why? And therefore, I think there's a few players there who might have been very much on the fringes in recent times who know they're going to start, and Ndiaye must be one of those who knows he's going to start.
Interesting. It's going to be a tough game. Gary Ward says, howdy.
Hi, Gary.
Alex says, afternoon, lads. If we lose to Villa and Leicester, regardless of the result against Southampton, would you sack the manager for 5 defeats out of 5 in the league? I personally think that'd be too much for him to stay in the job. Cheers. I think he'd be in a big hole if we lost the next 2 games. 5 defeats from 5 games at the start of a season is unacceptable to any manager. It really is. And we'll have played Bournemouth, Brighton and Leicester. Brighton are a good side, but at Goodison, and then Leicester away, you were going to be down there fighting with us. You know what I mean? It's a difficult one, that, wouldn't it, if we lost all 5 Premier League games? How could we? What do we do then, John?
I think,
I'm not saying Everton could quite easily get 4 points out these next 2. I'm just saying. Alex has asked.
In that scenario, I think your answer was he'd be in a difficult spot.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the football club would be in a difficult spot.
Okay.
Because it would expose clearly the ability to make decisions.
Yeah.
Because you dismiss this manager, as a for instance, then that means right now you already know who's going to replace him.
They should. They should have succession plan regardless.
Yeah.
Sean Dyche could win the next 10 and they should say, if it went wrrong, this should be the manager who would go
absolutely.
for. They should have that anyway.
And managers who are resting at the moment, and he was one of those, who are waiting for the call, are ready to move quickly, aren't they? So I think the next international break is huge for him, because he either goes into it feeling quite comfortable because he's got those 4 points or more, right? Or he's not got any points, which is the worst case, but even if he gets a couple of draws, you think, mate, really?
I'd suggest if we don't win one of the next 4...
That's what I mean, he's got to win.
I think we're in huge trouble for the season.
Agree. Because whoever comes along has got a real challenge on their hands.
Win 1 and 3 to stay up, to have any chance of staying up. If Everton don't win one of the next 4...
This squad...
They're going to be in huge trouble.
This squad and his career average should be comfortably winning 1 in 3. Because at this time of the season, that's 1 win per month.
Well, we distilled it down when you said it to me last week, and we were talking about it. 4 points a month, nothing. It's a terrible.
But if we get into the second international break, and we haven't, that means by definition we haven't got 8 points. We're below par. Yeah,
but I think with giving Sean Dyche a little bit of, giving him, stop beating him. If he got I'm saying to stop beating him on that model.
All right.
If Everton could win 1 and draw 2 of the next 4, which means he'd have 5 points. Yes, he'd be slightly below, of course.
That'd be all right.
But we'd be
within
moving,
the margin.
We'd be moving in the right direction.
Absolutely.
That means we're 1 point above what we're saying an average for
Absolutely,
him. Then can we go and do the same and get above it in the next one?
Yeah.
And by Christmas, you've made that back up and you're okay.
Yeah,
and that's got to be how he looks. I'm sure it is how he looks at it.
Yeah.
Everton could easily. Listen, we could get a result tomorrow. We don't know. But even if the worst happened and we got beat tomorrow, we could easily take 7 from the next 9. Easily. We've got Leicester away, who we should be looking to beat.
Absolutely.
Palace at home, who we should be looking to beat.
And we have a good record against.
Then we've got the Geordies, who will be a tough game, big game at Goodison. If Everton have beaten Leicester and Palace going into that, we'll all be saying, will we not? We can beat these.
Of course.
And we could be sat in the next international break. The manager could be sat on 9 points and we go, good start. Really, considering what happened, he's done really well to pick that back up. Let's hope that's the conversation we're having. I'm just saying, because Alex has asked the question, lose the next 2 Premier League games, I think he's in big trouble. Yeah. I think the football club's in big trouble if Everton lose the next 2. Forget even about Sean. I think the football club's in big trouble. If it plays 5 Premier League games and loses 5, unacceptable.
And 3 of them are at home.
Unacceptable.
Yeah.
So,
but I think whatever decision got made would happen in the international break.
I don't know.
So he'd still be the manager for another couple of games.
I did totally not.
Or we get the lift.
I think that's what you're looking for.
Yeah.
You've got Crystal Palace at home.
I don't know, like Bloody Baines or somebody interim for 5 minutes.
Moyes.
Well, Moyes is sitting on his
whoever knows.
So he might be able to.
Let's hope.
Moyes might be able to get a call today and turn up tomorrow, might he? So, yeah.
Listen, let's hope it's, yeah. Well, Frank Lampard was sacked on the Monday and Dyche was the manager a couple of days later.
I hope they don't sack him.
So, listen.
Because that means we've
won. I was going to say, the big thing is, let's just win games.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's hope we're sat in the next break and we're talking about where we
If he's still the manager, it's because we got
then we've
those
done
points.
All right. Exactly. Yeah. Let's move away from that. Mills, he says, it's sad to think we could be 4-0 up tomorrow in the 92nd minute and I'll still be sweating. Steve P says, Baz, did you see Botafogo have signed Matheus Martins, who was on loan at Watford? Their recruitment was actually very impressive in the summer. Thiago Almeida, tremendous footballer, being the main one. They also signed Alan, Alan, and Alex, and Alex Tellers as well. Yeah, they've done well. Listen, Martins, don't know, looks a talented player, but I'm not convinced he's quick enough to play in the Premier League. Certainly not out wide, but he is a lovely footballer. See how he goes. Big Jan, hello lads, how are you all? Hello Big Jan, I haven't spoke to you for a while.
Is that because Jan's tall?
He's a big lad. He used to go to school with me years and years ago and lives down south. Big lads, yeah. No idea, Jan, who JT's well-resourced friends are. He hasn't given any more to that, has he? No. David Gandry says, morning, gents, texters' words this week have been intriguing.
If he's in
David
in the States somewhere.
Is in Florida.
Oh, wow. Winding us up then.
Lucky David. It was also nice to hear someone talk about the club as a treasure worth wanting. That positive narrative alone was nice. 100%. Blue Keeley says, either way, hope it's sorted soon. We have no excuses after that not to move up the table where we belong. Ordered myself a hoodie from you guys yesterday, the Everton Magic one. Is right. Lovely hoodie, that one. Lovely one. And coming into the months now, mate, when you need them.
32 degrees in Florida today.
Yeah, beautiful. Absolutely. A few of my family are off there on Sunday. On Sunday.
I must book my flights for November, December.
You actually should have been there now, shouldn't you?
Yeah.
Jay says, I know I'm a miserable so-and-so, but I'm really pissed off by Everton's statement yesterday. How anyone in that boardroom has the arrogance to feel relevant when none of them should feel comfortable anymore. Come on, Johnny Texter, get that deal done and give us our club back.
No
John
pressure.
Blaine should 100% be our new CEO. And John, can you make Baz and Steve P your heads of recruitment? Ped would make a great PR officer. Imagine Ped as the PR officer. It'd be amazing.
Chief Engagement Officer.
Imagine him now.
What would Ned be?
Crap. Ned'd be...
What job do you want, Ned?
Ned, you do whatever you want.
Can I be like the org events manager in the fan zone?
Anything you want. That's what you want, you can have it.
Supporters liaison officer. Is that your job?
Yeah.
Or do you just want to be the man with the megaphone?
Yeah.
Orchestrating everything.
Danny says it.
Build a platform, please, for Ned on the bottom of the South Stand. Thank you.
Yeah, there you go. Danny says it. Onana is a conductor that we played in the choir. It's a good way. It's a good way of saying it. Roy says, "Hi guys, ordered a last."
Has he got in the box more times in the first couple of games for Villa than he ever got in for us?
On the box for Everton.
Yeah, only at corners.
Yeah, because we don't play football, John.
Yeah.
Roy
What's
says, hi guys, we can do that in a sec. I ordered a Last Dance t-shirt on the 9th. It came yesterday, top quality. Thank you, Toffee TV. Thank you very much, Roy.
All that Last Dance stuff's good, you know.
Quality. It is. Hoodies coming out as well.
Are the ones with this season shirt?
With the shirts are out now, yeah. The ones, if you want a t-shirt with this year, the last shirts that we will wear at Goodison Park.
Those.
They're there, so they're available now. Before we carry on, what's this scarf you've got?
I think we've had this on before.
Well, go again.
Heritage Society. Go to St. Luke's. It's just an excuse to go to St. Luke's.
There you go.
And get one of these. I'm not into scarves, are you? I've got loads at home.
No, but you have them. But
you buy them to keep them, not to wear.
It's all it's a memory, isn't it?
So look, it's
got Archibald Leach on it.
Yeah, Archie's there.
Yeah.
Goodison Park. What does it say at that end, Baz? I can't see it now.
It says the EFC Heritage Society, and obviously with
Is
the
that an
badge there, 2025.
Oh, it's this end, is it?
That one's the one established.
What's
1890?
What's the relevance of that?
I never like quoting that date ever. I know why, but I just don't like quoting it.
Yeah, because of that lot.
Because of that, yeah. But
we're on our third new stadium, mate.
Well, yeah,
right.
Fourth if you include Walton Hall Park. Yeah. There you go.
So I can't remember how much these are, but I bet you they're worth it. So.
Okay, so if you're at obviously you can go and
ask for Richie when you go to St. Luke's.
Yeah.
Find Richie and say, apparently I'm guaranteed a discount because I saw it on Toffee TV. And see what happens.
Are you?
What does that look like?
Use the code Toffee John Blaine with Rich and see if he gives you the discount.
What does the other side look like?
It's plain. Same? Yeah.
It's just the backing of it, but it sounds, yeah. Right, let me race through a few of these comments, John.
Quality,
Blue Keeley says hoping Dixon gets some minutes in the cup game.
He probably will, won't he?
Don't know.
Okay.
Roy says if we win tomorrow, will Deitch take the plaudits or will he praise the players?
They win together, they lose together. Okay. That's what I say.
Blue Keeley says, I think Tarks is still injured, and when Branthwaite comes back, it wouldn't surprise me if he goes out for a couple of games. Okay. Benjamin says, since the start of last season, Branthwaite has missed 6 games and Everton have lost 5 at an average of 2.5 goals per game. Also, if Dixon is deemed good enough for Spurs, then he should play against Aston Villa.
I reckon Jared probably played in a lot of games last season that we lost, particularly for a number of months. So you can make stats say what you want, can't you?
Mark,
but he's right. Still right, though.
Mark says, with the Reds getting Dua Lipa, do you think RAI board have started looking at the concerts for the summer at the new stadium? Surely this is a good source of income we should jump on. I thought Everton were looking at fan zone concerts for this summer. But
all of the above, I think.
But I don't. But again, we can't look past what's going on with the owners really at the moment.
I mean, we're a matter of weeks away from Lango Rourke saying, "There you go, lads, finished." Then all the questions, are at Everton, then aren't they? Rather than at Lango Rourke, it's finished. Fix the leaky roof, and everything will be great.
Yeah. Brian says, I sympathise with the smoke alarms, Baz. When we had our loft conversion to meet fire regs, it was either replace every door with a fire door or have a smoke alarm in every room of the hall and landing.
Well, when I did the loft,
we now have 10 smoke alarms and a heat detector in the kitchen. When one starts chirping in the middle of the night, absolutely, mate, absolute pain in the. But I've replaced the battery, but it's still chirping.
Does it cheap as well?
Just it's horrible, right? Because it just goes beep, and then
I know
nothing, and about 30 seconds, sometimes a minute and a half, then it'll go.
And who's that? And you go, the loft.
It stopped, and then it goes beep.
Who's that?
Brian.
Because at the bottom of each set of stairs in my house, obviously you have a smoke alarm, don't you?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And so when it's bleeping, it takes your ages to figure out which one
That's
it is.
That's what he
says,
yeah. Steve says, Ped, what was the score on that infamous Newcastle Post match reaction? I need to watch it again because I've been living in my head and it's not paying rent ever since. Was it the 2-0?
No, 1-0 Iwobi.
Iwobi.
Oh, Iwobi. The Iwobi 1-0.
Iwobi.
And Brian Garside says, I hope they have one of those scarves left when I get over here.
This one? When are you coming?
He can't answer you, John. So.
Okay.
XX Andy XX says, all right, lads, quick message to say, loving the content. We'll be listening to this on my drive home from work like every night. I can sense a cheeky 1-0 smash and grab tomorrow.
That's my boy. Yes.
Fair play.
That's my boy.
Yeah. We'll see, won't we?
I will.
Come on, you
It's on telly,
Blues.
innit?
Come on, you Blues, says Baz. What is our game except hoofball?
That's harsh.
Mark says, Baz, how can you defend Deitch? He's a total dinosaur.
Well, if you've done this.
I'm using a balanced view of him. That's all I'm trying to give, a balanced view. That's all. What I'm saying to him, I think the bit, because that was before, I think the bit you're referring to, right, is me simply saying he will have, in his mind, a hierarchy of defenders. Mm-hmm. That's it. And in his mind, it'll be Tarkowski. I imagine now it's Jared Brandtwaite. It's still probably Michael Keane, and then it'll be Jake O'Brien. In his mind, he picks the team. That will be his hierarchy. And all I'm saying is, that's fine. If that is him, he picks the team. I can't sit here and go, you're totally wrong, because I haven't seen Jake O'Brien play in the Premier League. If he sits here and goes, I'm telling you now, Michael Keane's better than Jake O'Brien at the moment. What can I say? I can't really argue with him, can I? I can just go, I wouldn't play that defender over this one, Sean. That's all I'm saying.
He's earned the right.
He's the manager. That's all I'm saying. So it's not a case of me defending him. I'm just saying, if that's his take on it, I understand how he gets to that position. When you're in that position, you make them decisions. Do I agree with this decision? No. You've heard me post-match. You've heard me in the final word. Some of the decisions, I don't understand how he gets to them. The subs at Bournemouth, regardless of him defending himself yesterday, in my opinion, he was wrong.
Should have made 5.
Legs, just being quicker than the other lad means you can overcome. What have Everton got in the dressing room at Finch Farm?
Is it still there?
On the thing.
Hard work beats talent, that one.
When the talent doesn't work hard.
Yeah.
Sometimes the talent doesn't work hard because its legs have gone. And hard work, i.e. coming on and running, means you get ahead of it. If it's good enough for some kids, when we do it at kids coaching, if we look and some kids are blowing, you get them off no matter how good they are and give them a blow, and it's easier at our level because you can roll on, roll off. But we will go, you two go on and run around because them two can't. It matches it. That's all I'm saying. He got it wrong.
It's dead easy for me to say because I don't have all that experience and you have more than me, right? But up to, let's say, the minute before they pulled one back, we demonstrated quite clearly we were the better team.
Absolutely on within that pocket.
Our starting 11 was superior to their starting 11. Their starting 11 was presumably what their manager thought was the starting 11 that would get them the best outcome. Up to that point, the best outcome was a 2-0 defeat.
Yeah.
And the substitutions, people are talking about them. No one's really saying it was actually the Bournemouth substitutions that made the difference.
No, but they did because he put
we
fresh
didn't
legs.
match it up. What happened to all those old textbooky things like matching up the opposition and stuff? They put fresh legs on. Well, I'll bring my fresh legs on. Because guess what? My starting 11 was better than his starting 11. My 5 subs will be better than his 5 subs as well.
It is.
And yet, a 2-0, all you need is legs, isn't it? To basically manage the game, in-game management. And that's where the improvements are needed.
Yeah, and Corin, who's one of our YouTube members, says, "Low Baz and John, could the manager do better with better players?" I'm not sure.
He needs to do better with these players first.
Yeah, listen, we all have to do better, don't we?
Well, yeah, absolutely.
And the football club needs to do better. It's as simple as that. Losing games of football isn't good enough for anyone. Winning 5 matches since December the 16th is unacceptable to me. And so, therefore, they've all, as a collective, have got to get results starting tomorrow at Villa Park. Be a tough one, Villa, really good side. Loads of respect for Villa. But we've got to go down and get into it. And finally, Reece says, Baz, would you say Irabunam's as good as Onana when we first signed him? No, I think Onana was better at what he does. But Irabunam, to me, is a totally different football. He travels with the ball. Onana is a true number 6 for me, who keeps things ticking over and can get in a box. Irabunam, I think, can do that job, but I think he travels really well with the ball, and they are, in my mind, they're slightly different. Irabunam is probably more suited to what we do, and Onana is more suited to what Villa do. That's how I would put it. Yeah. Let's hope he keeps developing. He's been great. For them,
he's been
great. Arsenal should have got him.
Yeah,
they'd have got him. To me, they would have been right next to City. Mark says, I agree, subs cost us the game. Spot on, Baz. I apologise if I was coming across as having a go at you. No, mate, having a go. You can put an opinion. I just was saying there's got to be a bit of balance. I'm never going to sit here and just go at Sean Dyche. I'm not, because he's still a manager and he's doing what he thinks is right. I disagree with that. You've got to get on my WhatsApp to see things like that, or pray for Premier.
Yeah.
Right, we're going. If you want more footy chat, me and Ped are going through all the Premier League games tomorrow in about 5 or 6 minutes. On More Than a Game, Ned will put the Hyperway Super Harry Potter link there. Don't have to go anywhere. Get yourself a drink. Make sure you head over there. Hit the like. Subscribe here. We're close. Moving towards 90,000 subs as we chase down that elusive 100,000. 89,210 at the moment. Wow. So not far away now. Thanks to you, everybody. We will see you on More Than a Game in about 5 or 6 minutes. See you later. Thanks to John. Bye.